Hello everybody, welcome to today's Novedge webinar, Augmented Reality Platform for Design Communication. AUGmentecture is a novel augmented reality platform for anyone in the design and information communication industry that uses images and 3D models to communicate their work. Upload and visualize your 3D models using its Revit and SketchUp plugins or using its web-based dashboard. AUGmentecture's geometry preparation and AR visualization is important. If you join the webinar, you can just follow us, or you can make it interactive by downloading the free app. And you can do so by going to the Autodesk App Store or from the extension warehouse. So if you haven't done so, you can go to the webinar recording page, to the webinar registration page on Novedge, and there'll be a link. So if you want to do this post-webinar, you can do so and get interactive with us. Let me tell you a little bit about today's webinar presenter. Biayna Bogosian is the Chief Product Officer of AUGmentecture, and she's an architect and interactive media designer, researching the application of augmented reality media for architectural and urban design information representation. And now let me tell you a little bit about Novedge. Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software, offering more choices, more freedom, best advice, faster service, and most importantly, no headaches. Check us out at novedge.com, where you can purchase AUGmentecture Pro. Last but not least, today's webinar is free and it's being recorded. So if you want to rewatch this or any webinar episode in our collection, just head on over to Novedge's YouTube and Vimeo channels. And now, without further ado, I'm going to switch to Biayna's screen. Take it away and enjoy the show.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, participants. I'm Biayna Bogosian, the Chief Product Officer of AUGmentecture. I'll be leading the webinar today, and during the question and answer session towards the end of the webinar, we'll be joined by Alan Malikian, our COO and founder. AUGmentecture is a design communication platform for anybody in the design and building industry that currently uses 3D models and images to communicate the work. It is an AR platform, which is image-based. AUGmentecture allows you to place 3D models over plans or custom images in order to create engaging and immersive presentations. Our novel workflow allows you to create these visualizations directly from Revit, SketchUp, or import from any design programs. So our platform allows for interactivity. It allows for mobility, since we are using mobile augmented reality, since we truly believe in creating a platform that could be accessed anytime and any place. And it allows for spatial representation of the model. It could be placed in different locations. It could be placed on the site. So there's a lot of flexibility in that sense. And ultimately, our workflow allows for a common data environment, so a CDE platform. And we're very excited to be sharing our workflow with you. So I want to briefly overview what AUGmentecture platform is, since you are already asked to download a plugin, and if you've already visited our website, there's also a dashboard that you can interact with. So hopefully with this diagram, I'll be able to introduce the general diagram of what our system provides. So our system, our AUGmentecture platform, utilizes a mobile application and allows for geometry to be visualized. Our mobile application could be used for iOS or Android. And in order to create geometry to be visualized, this geometry could be created in Revit, and then using our AUGmentecture plugin upload it to your dashboard, which is going to act as the overall server for you to store data, access data, and for anybody else to also access your data. In this case, 3D models that you're creating. This geometry could also be created from SketchUp. So again, we have a separate plugin for SketchUp. Using the AUGmentecture plugin from SketchUp, you're able to also upload your geometry to the database, the dashboard that I'll be introducing later on. And also there's a third component, which is flexibility to upload any FBX file. So this is a type file, which is possible to export from pretty much any design program. For instance, if you're familiar with Rhino environment, this is definitely possible. Or let's say Maya, a lot of different 3D modeling environments allow for FBX exporting. So our interface also allows you to import models with texture from any environment and visualize it in augmented reality. So the geometry that needs to be visualized, in this case, Revit, SketchUp, the FBX model from any platform, these would be stored in our AUGmentecture dashboard. So once you log in, you're going to have access to your own dashboard, and this is where you are able to manage your files, share your files, etc. And this AUGmentecture dashboard is accessible through our website, so augmentecture.com. So let's go to augmentecture.com. It would be useful if you follow along. This way you can ask us questions along the way. If not, just sit back and enjoy the ride. So I'm going to switch to our website. Here we are at augmentecture.com. And this is the first view that you'll have. So it's a website that allows you to be introduced to our platform. So if you scroll down, you'll be able to access also the tabs that we have here, but I'm going to go through this one by one. So how it works, it gives you an overall introduction to the platform. We have a series of tutorials here that you can access, and the tutorials on YouTube and Vimeo allow you to really focus on step-by-step operations, in this case, how to install the app, how to install the plugin for Revit or SketchUp, etc. For getting started, we have guidelines in terms of step-by-step what you need to do to interact with our platforms. In this case, starting by creating an account, upload your model, and download the free mobile app. So I'll be going over this as well. We also have a sample here. So if you do not have any model to, let's say, upload today, as soon as you have the mobile application, you're going to be able to use the free sample. So if you click on try the free sample, ultimately it's a PDF file. I'm going to give it a second to load. It's a PDF application. It's a PDF file of a typical floor plan with the QR code on the side. So the QR code is allow you to download from a server, and this could be your server, it could be somebody else's server. In this case, when I'm talking about a server, this is a dashboard. So you're going to be able to download a 3D model of this building and visualize it over this. So you don't necessarily have to print the PDF. You can just point your phone towards this QR code. And as soon as this QR code is recognized using the mobile application, then you're going to be able to do the downloading. So we're introduced to this PDF environment because one of the primary goals of us creating this platform was start to think about augmented reality visualization as an extension of our daily visualization tools that we use. So just like in our practice, it's very common to exchange PDF files for different, let's say, parts of our design process. What if we start to think about augmented PDFs in the same way? So we will go back to this file in a bit. Then here we have information about pricing. So we do have a student option, Pro and Enterprise. And since you're already interacting with Novedge environment, we do have a special offer for you if you engage with our platform through Novedge. You can find out more about our company, about us, our background, and also contact us for support or questions about different, let's say, development stages of our application, and engage with us on social media. So let's begin by logging into our dashboard. So you press on login. If it's your first time using this, you're going to be here in the sign up page where you're going to be able to enter your first name, last name, email, create a password, and select your country. For us, it's very exciting to see the different demographics and countries that are engaging with us, since we do have our representatives in different continents, in Brazil and in China, in Europe, and North America. We have active presence here. So you're also going to see here information about a coupon code. So this is the coupon code that Novedge will send you if you purchase the Pro package. So with that, you're going to be able to access our full package here. We also have an option for students. Once you're signed up, then go ahead and log into the dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and log in, which is something that you have to do each time. So once you log into this environment, you're going to see a few of the same options here. So for instance, the Augmented tab takes you back to our overall website. Again, information about the company, pricing, etc. If you need to go back to the dashboard, just click on dashboard here, and it takes you back here. Once you are here, you're going to be looking at an interface here. If it's your first time logging in, you're only going to see this option here that says upload directly. However, once you start to interact with our platform, you'll see how you are beginning to build different visualizations here. So you're able to maneuver your dashboard, your downloads, again, pricing and plans, everything else from here. So I am going to go back to our downloads tab here. So downloads tab allows you to, after you log in, begin to then look at installing the plugin. So if you've already done that from Autodesk website, great. Otherwise, you can follow the steps from here. So for instance, if you click on install AUGmentecture plugin for Revit, it will take you to Autodesk website where you're going to be able to log in and download our plugin for Revit. Again, here we have linked to our tutorials and how to get started working with the Revit plugin here. I'm going to go back to AUGmentecture website here. Same thing with the SketchUp plugin. It will take you to the SketchUp extension website. And you will be able to access how to get started with the plugin, as well as some general information about the platform itself. Going back to downloads again, then the next step is to download the mobile application. So depending on your platform, whether it's iOS or Android, you're going to be able to log into App Store or Google Play and download the application. I will switch back to the presentation, and I will show you a video of how to install the application from, in this case, Apple Store. So once you click on the link, you're going to be taken to the App Store, and information about AUGmentecture is here. Information about how to install it, and general comments. Once you go to App Store, you're going to be able to also look for AUGmentecture just by searching the name AUGmentecture, and you'll have access to the to download this. Once downloaded, and this is a quite fast downloading here, you're going to be able to then see the icon on your device, and this would work for iPhone or iPad, and you'll be able to engage with the model. So if you click on OK, then you'll see the icon appearing on your screen. So it would be the same for Android device. I will not repeat the process. You'll be able to search for it and install it. Here I have a QR code here. If you like to go ahead and download the application right now, you can use a QR code reader from your phone and scan either one. So if you if you have an iOS device, scan the iOS, and if you have an Android device, scan the Android, and you'll be guided towards either App Store or Android Google Play in order to download this application. So I will allow you to do this, and hopefully you're in the process of downloading this and following along. So in order for us to be able to talk about augmented reality in a webinar format, we need to make some modifications to the presentations. Often in a webinar format, you follow, let's say, a process of demo, and you're able to see exactly what the viewer is seeing. However, when we're talking about augmented reality, and in this case using a mobile device, it would be quite difficult to show you what I'm seeing in my phone in a webinar format. So for this purpose, we have developed, for part of this webinar today, a series of videos that you can follow along, and they're demonstrating, once you have the mobile application installed, how you can go about interacting with the application itself, the models, and hopefully this would allow you to get started. So I'm hoping at this point you have the applications installed, and we're going to look at an overview of how to open the app and how to scan a QR code and download a model. And along the way, I will introduce our application interface, and hopefully that would clarify what we're looking at. So we are beginning by looking at opening the mobile application. Once you open the mobile application, the QR code that we saw earlier on any drawing, so in this case, it could be an example PDF that you're looking at. Apologies, I'm gonna go back a little bit. When you open the application, you are seeing an option to scan a new model. So scanning a new model allows you to, using a QR code, access your own dashboard or any server and be able to download that model to your phone. So you would have your 3D model locally stored on your phone. And once you scan that QR code, within milliseconds, you're going to have this model downloaded on your phone. And then as soon as you, in a default mode, the first mode of the application, if you point towards this marker here, so this image here, you're going to be able to then retrieve the 3D model stored on your phone and visualize it. So step one, an image which is used as a reference. So we're always going to align that on the right side of the PDF. You're able to then visualize that model over the image. So this is what we call a blueprint mode. So you're able to scan and visualize your model over the blueprint. We also have in this upper right corner an option to switch the blueprint mode to a surface mode. So a surface mode utilizes any surface. So in this case, surface could be this surface of a table that we're looking at here. It could be floor, and it allows you to point your camera towards the surface. And once you see this speckled points, and these points that are detecting depth recognize a surface, you're going to be able to tap on your screen and place your model. So as you can see, You have an icon here, so for tapping, so you would tap right in the middle of the screen and you're going to be able to place your model. And again, this is after you see these dots, which means that there's your phone is recognizing this dot. And this could be done on surface of your table, it could be done on the floor, and then you're able to place the same model that was downloaded earlier on your phone on any surface. So this is quite exciting because then you could begin to, let's say, build a study model, but then when you're demoing this to your client, you're able to place it on different surfaces and able to look at it from different views. Going forward, this model is immersive, so this is what's really wonderful about augmented reality environment. And by dragging your finger over the screen, as you can see in this icon, you're going to be able to move this model back and forth. So imagine the surface that's recognized is a plane recognized for your model to be placed, and within this environment on this plane you have the possibility to move back and forth. You're also able to scale, so if you look at the icon, if you move 2 fingers towards or away from one another, you're able to scale. And using 3 fingers sliding right and left, you're going to be able to rotate. So this requires some practicing using single finger and moving in right and left. I'm going to go back. You're able to move. Then using 2 fingers and pinching, you're going to be able to scale this up and down, and using 3 fingers and sliding right and left, you're able to then scale. So what's really wonderful about this process is that you're able to, in this case, move it from one surface to another. So right now you can see that I'm moving the from a table plane to a ground plane, and I'm able to then, using pinching movements, scale this up. And I can go back to another mode. So because your phone is acting as a repository and all you have to do is to scan these QR codes and download this model, you could end up with repository of models on your phone. So right now, by clicking on Show Existing Model, we're taking you in our applications to a small database that you are creating. So earlier we were looking at one of the models. Now going back to the database, you're able to look at your other models that you can load. With this, you can load these models anytime. You can select any model. Again, we're recognizing a surface. We're able to identify a surface, place the object, similar to what we did earlier. We're able to then scale, rotate, and the transformations that we saw earlier using the movement. So this allows you a very versatile movement. So using this, these methods, I'm going to switch my screen to my dashboard here. So in my dashboard, I'm going to allow you to scan the same model. So you can see that I have quite a lot of models uploaded here, and the last 3D model that we were looking at, which was Statue of Jupiter, we're going to look at it together. So I'm going to get into how to upload model after this process, but first I want to make sure that everybody is able to scan, download a model, and understand the interface of the application. So when you upload a model, and whether this uploading is happening from Revit, from SketchUp, or from directly from the website itself, you have a series of ways of interacting with it. First, in this left corner, we have an option to 3D view the object. So once you press that, you're going to see that I'm able to look at the model in the 3D environment. So I'm holding out my left mouse button, I'm orbiting it around, and this gives you a quick idea of how your model is going to be visualized in 3D. Often, if you're, let's say, downloading or uploading models from Revit, or if you are importing and exporting from different programs, if you're not careful about directionality of Y and Z in certain programs, these directionality of flips, you might end up with a model that's going to be on its side. So as soon as your model is uploaded, you can get a general sense of what it's going to look like. So this is also an example of how you can communicate with your clients. So at any moment, you could send this PDF to your client, and you can have them quickly take a look at your 3D model on their browser. So they don't need to even download the application at this point, right? So they could just log in, and let's say they can look at their your model this way. And we have some general information on this lower left side: scale of the model, the type, so whatever the name is, and I said that in this case models need to be FBX for us to then be able to visualize it on the mobile application, number of vertices and faces, etc. So kind of integrity of the model. I'm going to go back to this interface here again. So with the same model, the second option here is to open the AUG file. And AUG is an extension that is associated with AUGmentecture. If you click on this icon here, which is ultimately a QR icon, what you're going to end up seeing is the PDF file. So this is also really important because this is a PDF that you can download, you can send to your client, and if they just install the free AUGmentecture app, they're going to be able to interact with your augmented reality model. So if you do have the application already installed, please go ahead and open the application, press scan new model, and point towards the QR code. And what you should see is this model being downloaded on your phone. And as soon as the model is downloaded, you can point towards the image and see a 3D model placed on this image. Now, I will show you guys how that's going to look in a few seconds as a video. But if you are successful downloading the model by pointing towards the QR code and placing, then you can also switch to our surface mode and look at the model also on any surface. So let's switch to our presentation here. And I will show you an example of what that would look like. So again, you would point towards the QR code, then point towards the image and place your object over here. And then you're able to maneuver. You can click on this upper right corner, switch to the surface mode, and also begin to place and maneuver. So this is one way that we can begin to work with our 3D environment. And if you switch to show existing models, you'll see these models on your phone already, so as part of your database. Okay, so I'm gonna skip ahead. The next method we're gonna look at is, we saw earlier that on the website, there's an option to upload model directly. So let's look at what this box here would do for us. So switching back here. This box has two options here. The first option is to upload an FBX file. So this FBX file could be a file generated from Rhino, from Blender, from Maya, any different platform. And all you have to do is to press on that box and upload your 3D model. The second thing we need to do is to upload an image. So this image could be a JPEG or a PDF. It could be a custom image. In this case, we looked at the Jupiter. It was an image of the Jupiter. And this image could be used to then reference this 3D object. So there's only two steps. Step one, upload an FBX file. Step two, upload an image that you want to use as a reference for bringing up this augmented reality geometry. Again, this could be, let's say, a drawing of maybe a planar or sectional drawing, or it could be an image of the object or something unrelated, as long as it makes sense for your project. And the last thing you have to do is to press upload and visualize it. So let's see what that would look like. So after you log into the dashboard, here we're looking at an example of uploading directly. So you have the option to choose a model and choose a marker. So the marker is referring back to the image. And in this case, earlier in the demo, we were looking at statue of a Jupiter, and I had modeled this in Rhino, and then I was also using an image of Jupiter as a reference. So we're looking at the model in Rhino. It was using a lot of meshes. And again, this platform could be anything, as long as you have the capability to export this as an FBX. So you select the option to download your FBX. So in this case, this is the Jupiter model FBX. You're selecting the option to download and upload an image, and then you tell it to upload. So depending on size of the model, this could be a matter of minutes. And then you always get an email when your model is uploading and your model is ready to be visualized. Then when you click on the icon to preview in 3D, just like what we saw earlier, you're able to look at your model, inspect it. If you need to re-upload it, you can always delete and re-upload. But this allows you to then verify, let's say, specifics. You're able to then inspect the PDF that, let's say, you'll be sharing. And once you open the application, which we will see right now, point it towards the QR code, we're able to then place the model over the image. So on your device, open the model, then they'll let you scan a new model and point it towards the QR code. It's going to tell you that it's getting your model detail. It's going to provide the name of your object. And then you're able to point towards the image and place it over the image. Now, in this case, the model doesn't have a texture, but you are able to also see textures in our application. So either these are, let's say, something that you do in Rhino or in another program, these textures do transform once they are encoded in FBX. So going back to the website, so that's what you would see. So no matter how you upload your model, whether it's directly from the website or whether it's from Revit, which is what we're going to look at next, you're able to then have the same options, which is being able to look at the model in your 3D viewer, inspect it, and then ultimately have access to the PDF. So we will switch to Revit right now. So for the sake of this demo, we're gonna look at the default projects already provided in Revit environment. If you open either one of these, so earlier I had the structural model open, so I will open that. Revit environment allows you to, in this case, waiting for the structural one to open. So in this case, it provides the sheet layout. So I already have AUGmentecture installed here. So when you do install it, you're going to see it as a separate panel here. and with the option to export. One thing to keep in mind is that AUGmentecture exporting would only work when your view is set to a 3D view. So do make sure that you always change your view to a 3D view. So after this process, I'm gonna switch to a video. I will be able to speak over it without any lagging better from a video. So here we're looking at opening the architectural model, and similar to the structure one, there are a series of drawings associated with this. And what's great about AUGmentecture, it allows you to already existing drawings or drawings generated from your 3D model to be used as your marker image or guide image for your augmented reality environment. So do keep in mind about project units. So if you do need to make any adjustments for scaling of your model, so that's something to keep in mind. To get started, you select the AUGmentecture plugin, and you're going to be provided, when the interface comes in, you're going to be provided with the option to select series of images to utilize as the guide image, so the marker image for our 3D environment to be selected. You're going to then be prompted to upload to AUGmentecture. If you are not signed in at this point, you're going to be prompted to sign in. Then after signing in, we have a window pop up, which is called View Range. So View Range allows you to, before uploading your model and view it in augmented reality, slice your model. So in architecture, we're slicing a model in for plan and section purposes is a very common practice. So we allow you to, with the view range, also slice your model and look at your plan as a section as well. There are a series of parameters here to modify depending on type of your model. So what you could do here is you can click on the show option, and with that you're going to be able to see a diagram of what each of these parameters indicate. So for instance, how do we define the top range versus the cut plane versus the bottom plane? And you're able to, depending on height of your building, set up where you exactly want to cut your project. So in this case, if we're looking at it as a cut plan, if you do not want to do that, then you need to again arrange it in a way that you're not cutting your plane, your model. So after cutting, you're seeing that we have a really nice 3D model for us to then visualize in augmented reality. I'm going to go back a few seconds here. After you cut, then obviously you need to verify that what you're looking at is what you want to export to the website. If you're not happy with the cut, then you can go back, and then you don't need to keep the view. Then we can repeat the process until you're happy with the view. Let's say if you're, if you're going to go ahead here. If you're happy with the view, then you're going to just press yes, and this view would be uploaded to our server. But before uploading into the server, you need to identify the reference image that you want to use. Either you can use an existing drawing generated from Revit, or you have the option to also upload a custom image. So if you select the choose option, you can upload any image in this case that you want to be using as your guide. So in this case, maybe you want to do an icon for a project. Once you press, as soon as that's done, your project is going to be uploaded on our website. Again, you're going to be receiving a prompt email telling you that your model was uploaded, your model is being processed, and your model is done uploading. After this process, then you could I'm going to go back here and look at it from this point on. After the uploading is process. Again, this depends on how robust your model is. You can look at the 3D view, load your model, make sure you're happy with it. As you can see, textures and colors do come out really nicely here. And then you're able to then look at your other outputs, in this case, the PDF that you're generating. So in this case, we're using an image, a plan of the 3D model as the guide image, but as you saw, there's an option to also do a custom image for this purpose. We will see right now that, again, using the application, you can open the application, point towards the QR code, and you're going to be able to download the model on your device and be able to then visualize it over the model. At any point, if your, let's say, dashboard is becoming full, you can then delete the model. Again, scan the new model, point towards the QR code. The model is being downloaded on your device, and point towards the image, and your model then is being visualized over the image. So the same model could also be displayed using Surface Mount. The workflow is, I'm going to skip ahead, is quite similar for SketchUp. You are working with a plugin here. So in this case, we saw earlier that you can download it from SketchUp extensions. And you select your model, you upload your prompted, and you visualize the same way. I will switch to SketchUp environment right now. So here we have a generic model in SketchUp that we want to export and visualize. What's great about the SketchUp option here is that you don't necessarily have to upload everything here, but you can also upload parts. So let's say with the select tool, I could select a portion of the model that I want to export. And again, it all depends on how you want to utilize this, or let's say the complexity of what you have here. And if I click on the icon for uploading, here I have an option to export only current selection. So what's great about this, if you have many things floating on your screen, you can be able to manipulate them this way. I'm gonna skip ahead and jump to the SketchUp model that you would see if you were to select a part and upload it. And you can see that it's pretty much the same workflow. You have the same option to then look at a QR code here. If you do not provide an image, we would always default to an icon here. But again, you have an option for every single method using Revit or SketchUp to then provide a custom image in this case. So I will end the demo portion by showing some use cases, and hopefully with that we can maybe address some of the questions. So here we're looking at a screenshot of utilizing a model, and they were using the move, scale, and rotate. In this case, they scale up the model so large that actually the user is able to walk through the space. So this application could become quite immersive. So the scaling is, we don't actually have a scale limit. So you can really adjust and place them however you see fit for your specific project. Here we're looking at another use case. So placing a project on a site. So here we're looking at a bus stop. Again, in this case, ground plane is used for placing. And you can see that textures and colors do come out quite nicely in this environment. So you can really use it for testing elements on site for a specific scale. And it becomes truly immersive because you can truly occupy it and walk around and really understand what it would look like on a site. One more example, again, in this case, the user is placing these lamps where they think it should be. So I'm going to go back to this. So you can see that it blends in really well with the environment, and at any point you can take a screenshot. So that could be something that you share with your client. So we have partnered with a few large clients. One of them is a Brazil-based magazine, Proyecto, and what's been really wonderful is to assist the magazine and their clients to represent projects in 3D. So what we're really advocating here is a product that's quite practical, easy to use, and accessible. With that, I think it would be best to switch to questions, and we'll be happy, myself and Alan, to address any questions that the listeners would have.
Thank you, Biayna. Thank you for guiding us through these workflow. Those models look amazing in AR. So I hope everybody will download the app soon if they have not already done it. We're still waiting for some questions. I have none so far, so let's leave it a couple of minutes for people to formulate them, or maybe, to get over the initial shyness. And
Sure.
in the meantime, I will take the screen back because I want to show everybody where they can find AUGmentecture on our website. So you can go to novedge.com and search for AUGmentecture, and you see the two options. And yeah, it's very easy to order, and it can be yours and to play with. No questions. I think you really were clear, and I guess everybody understood everything. I don't think.
Thank you very much. So the participants can visit our Instagram page, AUGmentecture, and you could see many different use cases, and from product scale to let's say full immersive scale. So I think that would perhaps give them a better sense of how textures come through, how colors come through. And again, you have the flexibility to do this from Revit, from SketchUp, or if you were to, let's say, export it from Rhino, especially Rhino 6, it has the capability to store the texture in FBX format. So you're able to see a quite kind of lively presentation that you can use for your documentation.
This is great news. Everybody go to Instagram right now and like AUGmentecture. Great. And I want to, so come to Novedge and after that. And I want to remind everybody that Novedge is changing the way designers purchase 3D software. We make it very easy. We have a lot of choices and best advice if needed. So check us out. And to watch today's webinar, you can go on YouTube and Vimeo and enjoy the demo again. Thanks again for watching, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you, Biayna, and thank you, Alan, for being backstage, and looking forward to more demo together. Bye-bye, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you for the participants and Novedge. Thank you.
Thank you.